Here's me circa 1996 and probably 1999. I've had a clear fascination for the seaside from an early age. Looking back over these photos, it was clear how happy and overjoyed I was being there as well. Although I don't remember being there, I'm sure these were in Devon. The weird thing about the seaside though, no matter which beach or town you're at, it almost always feels the same as a child. Every element necessary is there. Fish and chips, sea, sun, sand, and of course ice cream. I remember one time we went to one town by the sea in Devon, and the only clear memory I have is being distinctly scared by a puppet fortune teller, which is probably where my favourite puppets came from. It's hard to pinpoint a specific time and place when it comes to the seaside. An overall feeling more encapsulates the memories associated with sunshine, sea, pebbles, and the sand. It is a lost sense of awe that comes from the sea crashing against the beaches and then separating itself from the land, reaffirming our tiny existence against the backdrop of a never-ending swash of waves. As I'm older, it's easier to see the connection between a dwindling town and its inhabitants. Countless shops selling somewhat cheap goods, capitalizing on the appeal of the beach, and arcades that no longer hold as much joy as they used to. Maybe you can say that the commercialization of the beach has divorced itself from the true nature of what the seaside is. And fundamentally, it is a place of freedom and fun. But the shops and arcades that surround the beach now have a different agenda. They have to fight for survival due to the issues that the seaside towns face economically. So in turn, it's moved away from its core values, and from that, no longer thinks of the sea and the beaches in the same way. They rely on tourists and the excitement of children and families in order for it to thrive. Without that, they look in disdain towards the town and the seaside, unable to adapt to their surroundings. It's a strange thing to watch anyway, as you go there on off-season to see the state of the area and the ghost town that is left. As if the families have drifted apart, no longer wanting to see each other. I don't think you can fall out of love with the seaside. It depends where you go, but there are definitely places that you can never get over. Whitstable for one, West Wittering for another. Sometimes I find that the constant building that surrounds the seaside to be a bit overwhelming. It gives other attractions, but it also detracts from the true nature of sea and sand. Maybe as I'm older, that's more what I am drawn to. The connection between sea and sand and the nature of it, more than the tacky stores and the commercialization that surrounds it. Maybe I've been searching to find this childlike view of the seaside because of my own issues with my family over the past year. Even at 22, seeing your parents move away from each other and split up does still have an effect on you. I mean, on the one hand, as an adult, if that's what's best for them, then that's fine. And I hope they'll be happy. But on the other hand, I don't think the same family dynamic will ever exist again. I mean, at least all three of us children have grown up, two of which have their own kids. But I feel like maybe I'm more drawn to the seaside now because it's been a place that we religiously went as a family. I mean, even though we didn't live next to one, it'd always be on a bank holiday or just any holiday for that matter. And we went as a family and spent quality time with each other. And I don't think there'll be a moment that all of us will be able to go as a family again. And I'm not sure how that makes me feel. It's hard, even if we're in the same room together. I know that the dynamic between my mum and dad will never be the same. And I don't understand the front that they put on in front of the grandchildren. But I guess that's the weird thing about the seaside though. Even after so many years, it's still the same. Run down by weather and poverty, but most still remain the same town stuck in the nostalgia that they can't escape. I started this exploration wanting to regain a sense of childlike wonder. But I realise I don't think I'll ever be able to get this back. Instead, I think my nephew acts as a catalyst. It's a sense of freedom that comes with it, as he runs across the beaches, finding pebbles and seashells, overjoyed by the discovery, something that is near impossible to be so excited about as an adult. Through this exploration, I've come to terms with the notion that I won't ever be able to feel the sense of freedom again. Instead, it's something that one recreates with your own family. And maybe I aspire to have my own one day, to bring this joy and freedom to them, and not to let it fall apart.